Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Cub and welcome to the first episode in a brand new Minecraft Let's Play adventure. This is Five Head Island, created by friend of the channel, Mr. Jordan Allen, who clued me into this a little bit before it released, but I'm just now finally getting the time to play it, and I'm really looking forward to it. If you like Sky Factory, but you always thought to yourself, geez, I wish this was in the ocean instead, that's basically what you've got here. Now, granted, it's got a few more bells and whistles, and it certainly does handle certain things differently, but that's just a general rule of thumb here. If you're trying to figure out what is this pack, what is going on, it's Sky Factory in an endless ocean, and I mean endless. Not only does it go indefinitely in all directions, if you go down, there's nothing until you reach bedrock. Assuming there is bedrock, I don't actually know. It might just be like a void world where at the bottom of the water, you just fall to just nothingness. I haven't tried. I haven't been down there. This is really one of the first times I've logged in. I haven't played much, but I'm looking forward to giving this a go. This is going to be a mini-series. We're going to go about 10 episodes, and if you folks want to see more after that 10th episode, we'll decide whether or not we want to continue it. But we've got a book here. We spawned to the world with a quest book, a bed, some bone meal, some oak saplings, and a single torch, as well as the tree beneath our feet. This is going to be the thing that helps us get started in this infinite void ocean. If you are familiar with my channel and you liked the Stranded series, consider this to be the unofficial Season 3. We're stuck on an island again. So welcome to Five Head Island. This pack uses the mod Ex Nihilo Adsencio, I feel like I got that right, to gather most vanilla resources. Ores drop from various mobs. You can look up an ore or ingot and its tooltips will tell you what mob it drops from. This book will help you get started with the mod. More details can be gathered by using JEI, which you can see on the right of your inventory. Most items have some sort of recipes, including items that normally spawn in the world. Left-click on an item to see its recipe, and right-click to see its uses. Sorry about the bit of a stutter there. I had to look up, and I had this fright where I was like, oh no, am I not recording? I most certainly am, though. So we're going to start the book, and then fortunately, this pretty much walks us all the way through exactly how to get started. I'm not playing hardcore mode, sorry guys. I haven't died yet either, though, so that's a step in the right direction. You can play this on a server with friends, and you can have a party mode. Not interested in that, I'm a solo player. I live alone and will likely be alone for a very long time, so let's just getting started. Let's go ahead and get that started there. And it's of course going to instruct us to start with a crook. So a crook allows you to get increased saplings and apple drops and allows you to get silkworms. Fortunately, I know how to do this. I've done this a few times, and all we got to do is get a couple of blocks of wood. Yes, that's right, a couple of them. Now, unfortunately, I see that the tree has decided to completely dissolve itself instantly. That is upsetting, because it didn't even give us a chance to build a crook or attempt to get silkworms, but it's not a problem. We did spawn into the world with a few saplings, and as you saw, we picked up a few more there. So we'll plant that one down. If you have played Sky Factory, you're probably used to the whole twerking to get your trees excited and growing up fast. Does not work in this world. You might notice no twerking is going to be exciting this sapling. We're just gonna have to wait and let it do its thing by itself. We have some bone meal if we want to encourage growth a bit faster, but there's no rush on it. Let's go ahead and grab the oak wood. And now might be a good time to point out that I am using a texture pack. I'll have the name of the texture pack down below. As far as where to get it, I won't link directly. Well, I guess I will, but really I installed using the curse launcher. I installed the Five Head Island, and I installed the texture pack all from within the curse launcher. I would recommend you do the same, but I'll go ahead and put the name of it down below, as well as a link to its page on the curse website. So we got our wooden crook there by just using some sticks. Pluck that out. It's going to do exactly what it told us it would do. It's going to help us get more saplings, more apples, and hopefully some silkworms. Now we're going to open up the quest book, and it says it's a detection task. Claim reward? Well, we crafted a crook. Here it is. Okay, well, it says it's completed. It won't let us claim our reward. Oh, we have to pick one. I see now. So we can get more bone meal, or we can get 4 torches. Honestly, I think bone meal is going to be more useful for us right now. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Very familiar sound. And that's opened up a whole new wave of things for us to do, which we'll focus on in a bit. First things first, though, we need to expand this island out a little bit. Now, we have some grass here. I don't want to break all the grass. I say we save at least one piece, but the rest of this dirt can be separated away from here, and we can plant more saplings on it. Probably have more saplings growing kind of as we go. So I'm going to very quickly take the wood that we have left, turn it into planks. so we'll get even more reach out of the wood that we've gotten. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and break this piece. And again, since it is the water, we can just float down here and grab it, so it's not as cruel as a sky factory in that way. I'm going to put it on the lower level, because if you do it like that, if we tap F7, you'll see monsters can spawn at night on this block. They won't, because there's not enough space for them to. But as we expand our platform, you'll notice they cannot spawn on wooden slabs that are placed on the lower level. So we're going to do that all the way around the island. And as we go, I'm going to collect some of these other pieces of dirt. I don't want to break them all. I'm almost positive we can get grass seeds, but just in case we can't, I don't want to get rid of all the grass that we have here. I kind of want to preserve at least 1 block worth of grass, and I say we'll go ahead and grab... Actually, you know what? We'll preserve this one. I've decided. It was really just a random decision. There's no reason for it, but it's not like it proved itself to be the best piece of grass or anything. It was just like a random choice. I saw it and I was like, that's the one. You will inherit my life savings. Congratulations. By the way, I don't have much of a life savings anymore since my debit card information was taken, and now someone had a wonderful shopping spree at some department store I've never heard of, and that piece of dirt is gone forever. What a shame. We'll have to get another one later. Hopefully the bank gets my money back. They didn't sound too hopeful on that one, but you know what? Life goes on. There's likely to be way more horrible things that happen to me in the future, so might as well not let this one little incident get me down. Am I right, guys? Alright, so we've got our platform built here, and next thing we can do is, I guess, go ahead and apply a bit of bone meal to this sapling. Perfect. And now we're going to use the crook. Now, as far as I can tell, we don't have anything that will allow us to break all of the leaves in one go, which would be handy, but we don't have it. However, we can go through here and break these manually. Not that big a deal. I do notice that these leaves, if they're not connected to the tree, they will deteriorate very quickly, which might be handy if you don't want to have leaves sitting around in the sky. I know that can be annoying, but also, if you're trying to crook things to get silkworms and apples, could be a bit of an issue. I did notice just now, though, that we have gotten a couple of silkworms, which is good. We're going to need those in the very near future. We've also got an apple, which is fantastic. So I guess, unlike in a sky factory, if we get super, super hungry, we can go fishing, which might be helpful, but that will require us to get some string first. And, of course, that's what the silkworm is going to come in handy for. We'll go ahead and chop down this tree using the silkworms. There's no reason not to. I mean, I don't know if silkworms are the best thing to use to cut down a tree, but I can't imagine they're the worst. I wonder if we can knock out just the bottom block, if it'll take the whole tree with it. Again, I'm not sure if that is a thing in this mod pack. This whole mod pack experience is new and fresh to me. I'm learning as we go with you folks. We're going to learn together. It's going to be a fun adventure. All right, we're going to turn all of that into wooden planks, and I'm going to convert not all of it, but get at least 12 more slabs there, and we'll plant that, and then we're going to go off. You don't have to go very far with this, but for some reason, I always go 4 blocks. That's just my thing. You can do your thing differently if you're so inclined, but I like to put 4 blocks between each tree. I find that just gives like a good bit of space to work with between the trees. So we're going to plop down another piece of dirt. Gonna jump out from the world, plop down another piece of dirt. I am concerned about sharks. I don't like them, particularly in video games. I don't really have an issue with them in real life, but in video games, oh boy. Okay, see, we want to be careful with our bone meal. We don't have a whole lot, so we should probably preserve. I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and we'll use this 4, and the rest of this 30 we'll hang on to. Alright, so what is next up in our quest book? So, get silkworms. We've got some silkworms. When crooking leaves, you may get a silkworm. You can infest tree leaves with them. After it spreads and fully infests, you can crook the infested leaves for strings. Yes, we most certainly can. Now, I want to be sure that I collect as much string as possible, so let's just go ahead and create as many platforms as we can. And then I'm going to build out around this tree, so we hopefully... Oops, that was a mistake. That's going to... Ugh. Darn it. Okay, good. We got them both back. So I'm going to build out completely around this tree, completely underneath this tree. And I guess we can go ahead and infest it. We'll put... Okay, that's fine. They're vanishing. I guess my texture pack doesn't support infested leaves. And if that's the case, we might be switching back to vanilla textures in the very near future. Because this is going to get very confusing. When this tree looks like it has no leaves on it, we might just have to kill the texture pack. But I'm going to keep building out. I'm going to pretend like it's working for now. And I'm going to continue to build out underneath this tree. And when we come back, I guess we'll see whether or not I still have vanilla textures. Alrighty, folks. Well, the sun is now setting. It has been our first, not full day, but certainly our first sunshiny day. And we're now heading into our first night. The tree is fully infested, and you'll notice it's quite vanilla now. I had to switch over, because unfortunately, I couldn't see where the infested leaves were. And that was a bit distracting. So we've switched back over. We're not going to crook the infested leaves and hopefully get a few sticks. Or not a few sticks. I mean, if it wants to drop sticks, that's fine. I could always use more sticks, but that's not generally a drop you'd expect to get out of this. What we're actually looking for is string. And I can hear that we are picking up some things. I'm going to assume some of it is string. I can't see it. It's buried deep in my inventory. But hopefully, when we get back to it... Yeah, look at all that. We got plenty of string now. 37 string. All I wanted was a fishing pole. I wanted to catch some fish. We can go ahead and break the rest of these by hand. I'm pretty sure they'll still drop things. And, or maybe it won't. It hasn't. Maybe I'm absolutely wrong on that. Maybe we're not going to get any more drops if we just keep breaking by hand. I'm tempted to keep trying for the sake of experimentation. Yeah, there's only a few left. We might as well just go ahead and break them with our hand as well. Alright, it appears that we do need a crook for that to work. It's a learning experience, everyone. We're all in this together, just like the Wildcats, I think it was, and that High School Musical series of films that I've never actually watched all of. I've only seen the bits and pieces of the first two, and then I think the third one is in theaters, so it's very unlikely I would go pay money to watch that. So we've got 38 pieces of string, which is pretty good. Gonna go ahead and plant this tree here so that it can be growing. And oh, good, that was a full-size sapling. Sometimes they plant in their miniature, and I don't know how I feel about that. I'll tell you how I tell you I do know how I feel about it, and I don't like it. I'm not a fan of that. Oh my gosh darn you, you wood slab. That was not what you were supposed to do, and you know it. You're supposed to go out here. Thank you. Alrighty, so now that we've done that, we can open up our quest book. We've got our string, and we've got 6 apples for it, which is pretty good. Next up, it wants us to build a barrel. Now, we can use a barrel to compost... Well, with a barrel, you can compost things into dirt, including saplings. You can also make clay and other things. Yes, this is very useful, and building it is not all that difficult. If we open up JEI over here, and we type in barrel, and I spell it correctly, I didn't. We type in barrel... and locate the correct one here. It's the one from Ex Nihilo. You'll see that it's just some planks and a slab. Now, I just used my last slab over there. Not a big issue. Let's throw down that torch that we've got. There we go. And I suppose, if we found a place to put the bed, we could just go ahead and sleep for the night. And we can do that. We've got the wood for it. So we'll go ahead and grab some more slabs and throw the bed down. Oh, man. Can't wait to get back to the daylight where we can actually see things. Fantastic. And we'll leave that there. It's a bit messy. I'm not a fan, but it'll get the job done. So we put these along the sides. I'm doing a real poor job of it. Put one of these down here, and that'll give us a barrel. If it rains, we can also collect rainwater in this, but I don't know if you've noticed, we're not necessarily hurting for water out here, so not going to worry about that. Now, something I haven't tried doing yet is taking the crafting table. And again, don't know if this is going to work. But if we put it back in our inventory, yeah, we'll get a crafting table. Goodness me, I don't know what that is. I've made one now. I was sort of hoping we would get a crafting station. No! Oh, no. Okay, so I guess we don't have Tinker's Construct, which is, I guess, one less thing to deal with. But also, will we ever find out what this thing does? Yes, because I've built another one. And it's just a better crafting table. So maybe I can leave things in it? That's exactly what I can do. Which is basically the same thing that a crafting station does. So I'm super happy about that. I wonder, though, if I could put an inventory next to it and it would be able to access that inventory. Again, like the other thing that we won't speak of. All right, let's go ahead and look at our crafting book here. And it's a detection task. We've done it. Give me my blocks of dirt. Thank you very much. We're making really good progress here. We've completed the silkworms. We've already gotten our apples. So that's opened us up to building a scythe, a hammer, and making some clay. However, I want to find out if there is a tool, like let's say some shears, that will... Actually, I just saw it right there. We've got regular shears. We've got... Okay, do we have anything that... Okay, alright, yeah, we've got some different varieties here. But it doesn't look like we've got any that are going to be super easy to build. I was hoping for wooden shears or something along those lines. Looks like we're going to have to get regular shears, though. That's going to help us get the leaves off of the trees, and then we can use the leaves inside of the compost wooden barrel as well. However, since we can't use the leaves, we'll just go ahead and put our saplings in there. I think it's 8 saplings, and that'll begin composting into more dirt. Although we're not necessarily hurting for dirt. We've got like 9 of them. One thing we are hurting for, though, is another crook. And I betcha, if we take a look in here, we can build a bone crook as well. So once we get some monsters, we won't have to use our precious wood to build crooks. We can do it with bones, which is, of course, a thing that happens in the real world as well, guys. If you've never used a bone tool before, what have you been doing with your life? All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue to cut down trees, I'm going to continue to collect resources, and we're going to see, I tried to install the Minecraft Replay mod, and if the Minecraft Replay mod works, what you should see is a beautiful, sweeping panorama of me doing a little bit of work on the island, just expanding it out and collecting more resources. So let's give that a go. Alrighty folks, well that was pretty productive. As you can see, I expanded the island. We've gotten a couple of pieces of additional dirt, although again, we've got plenty right now, so there's no real reason to continue composting at the moment. I've got something else to do with this barrel though, in the very near future. First things first, let's hop in here. I've created a chest. We're going to break this piece out right here and see what happens if we place the chest down next to this JACB crafting table. Nope, okay, so it cannot access the inventory of chests next to it. Again, it's a learning experience. We're going to throw things in here that we are not using. Perfect. Alright, and then we're going to keep the apples on hand, and we're going to keep the quest book on hand for now. We'll probably come back and grab some of these other things. In the meantime, let's check the quest book. Next thing it wants us to do is build clay, and before we can do that, though, we have to get a hammer. So the ex nihilo hammer allows you to break down various blocks into others, most commonly cobble to gravel, gravel to sand, and sand to dust. So we're going to need the dust in order to create our clay, which means we're going to have to get cobblestone first. In order to get cobblestone, we're going to need some dirt. And of course, we've got the dirt, so guess what we can do? We can hop back in here, we can grab our materials out, we can make a couple of sticks, we can stick a couple of blocks of wood on the end, get ourselves a hammer, and then we're going to pluck out our dirt. Now, actually, now that I'm thinking about this, we might actually have to sift the dirt. I don't know if we can break it with a hammer. I don't know what that'll do. That just gives us more dirt. Silly me. Silly, silly me. If we open up our book, though, you'll see that this is fine anyway, because we needed the hammer for this. It's going to give us a couple of hamburgers, which I'm okay with. Next, we need to build the scythe, which is pretty simple, and that's going to give us a birch sapling, which is great. So the scythe, and if you pronounce it differently, don't tell me I don't care. 2 sticks, a slab, some planks, and some wood. Looks like we pretty much got everything we need here. Might be missing a plank. Pull that out of there, and we should be able to just hold down shift and click this move, or maybe just click the move item button. Hey! Fantastic. That'll give us our scythe, and we'll open the book up. We'll get our reward for that. Let's take a nap so we can keep the sunshine going. I think it's good for the light. It's good for the viewer if you can see what's happening. Unless you like the dark again, I guess comment down below. You know, I'm here to please. So next up, we just need to make the mesh to go inside of there. Different meshes will give you different resources. A string mesh is where you start to place the mesh inside a scythe to use it. Mesh is very, very simple to build. So we'll pop that open, we'll grab a mesh. It's just a bunch of string. Guess what we happen to have inside of this chest here? A bunch of string. Still need to make me a fishing pole. You get a line, I'll get a pole, honey. You get a line, I'll get a pole, babe. You get a line, I'll get a pole. We'll go fish in the crawdad hole, honey, baby mine. Cool. I was hoping that song would last long enough for me to place this thing down, and it kind of did. I mean, really, it's just my rambling that killed the time. There we go. Put the mesh in there. Now, we don't want to use up all of our dirt, or do we? We've got plenty of dirt and we got plenty of saplings. We can just get more later. So what we're going to do is hold down the right-click button on your mouse. Going to scythe these items, and you'll see we'll immediately start collecting some different things. So I see that we've gotten some seeds. So that's just regular seeds for wheat. We've got some different types of pebble here. What we're looking for, though, is the stone pebble, really. A melon seed, pumpkin seed, cactus seed. I think this is a beetroot seed. So we've got various different seeds here we can plant for different things. I believe that's the birch sapling we got as a reward. Speaking of rewards, fantastic. And that will give us an additional... I should have just hit the exit button. I don't know why I keep clicking right-click. So we've got our stone pebbles. We're going to throw them in here, and it's going to create ourselves some cobblestone. Now, how many cobblestone did we need for this? Apparently just the one. Cool, now we've got a spruce sapling, so we're getting a pretty sweet collection of saplings here. I'm gonna store all of our seeds and things in here just in case I fall off the world or something and drown. It's possible. It's unlikely. I mean, you can swim back out of the water, but I've managed to kill myself in way far more embarrassing ways. So next up, it wants us to make a flint stiffened mesh. That's a task for a different day. Clay might even be a task for a different day. We've basically got started, though. I mean, I can go ahead and show you guys how to do this. Throw that down and then hit it with the hammer. Plop. That'll give us our gravel. Breaking that gravel will give us our sand. And then breaking that sand will finally give us the dust that we need. But I'm trying to keep these episodes short. Last series I did, I made pretty long episodes and people were not pleased, so we'll go ahead and call it here. Thank you folks for watching. If you've enjoyed this and you want to see more, again, I'm going to do 10 episodes, but if you want to see more after that, show some love. You know, hit the like button, comment down below, tell me that you think my breath stinks. Or don't tell me that. You've never smelled my breath. Until next time, God bless you and I'll see you later. Bye!